Good morning or good afternoon. It's Thursday, the 26th, and the ed puzzle I have today could be a little long, so we're going to get started on it pretty quickly here. This one involves a, a wooden puzzle that I created. It's not really a puzzle so much as a model. It's a wooden model that I created to help myself teach, and I really like it a lot. It's very useful in terms of being very three-dimensional. It helps to kind of see it visually. So I really enjoyed this wooden model I made one year. I've also made more of them that I gave out to other teachers. I noticed that one of them was sitting in the staff room the other day, and I had made it years ago for other people to teach measuring as well. But here we go. We're going to get going on today's ed puzzle where Mr. Olson from a year ago is going to show you how to measure using this model that I created. Here we go. All right, so this brings up the subject of how much I enjoy being somebody who can make things that I need. Once upon a time, I was trying to figure out how to teach measuring, and I thought I needed to teach in lots of different ways. You'll have heard that people learn in different manners. Some people really like the visuals. They like diagrams. They like pictures. They like things that work well with their brain to understand stuff. Whereas other people like to read about stuff and to learn. And they're really good at looking at something and reading it and figuring it out. And other people like hearing about audible learners and so forth. So I was looking for some sort of tactile something that students could pick up and move around with their hands. And one day this kind of came into my head about, if I just had this, then that would work. And of course, since I'm a guy who knows how to make stuff out of stuff, I made it myself, and I've been using this for years, and I really, really like it because it really puts the concept into solid kind of visual things. Okay, so I am Thanos, and I just shrunk you down by 1/16 scale. Okay, so everybody in the classroom, if you were 48 inches tall, you're now 3 inches tall, which you're about 48 inches tall, most of you guys. Some of you are taller than that. 48's 4 feet. Actually, you're taller than that, a lot of you guys, but still you're about a little over 3 inches tall, 3 to 5 inches tall. And this is no longer 1 inch, or no longer 16 inches, which this is actually 16 inches. It is now 1 inch. Okay, it's like Ant-Man. I just shrunk you down. Okay, and this is now 1 inch. If this is 1 inch, then I think you guys could understand that these are half inches, because these two come together to create the whole inch. So this is an inch, this is a half an inch, this is a half an inch. They come together to create 1 inch. Okay? There are 4 of these, which equal the whole inch, which makes them fourths. So this is 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, 4/4. My son was making this video, and if it's making you a little nauseous watching it, it's also making me a little nauseous. He moved around quite a bit, but we'll have to just put up with that. 1/4, 2/4 is equal to the half inch. 3/4 and 4/4 is equal to the entire inch. Okay. There are 8 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these things. And thus they are eighths. This is 1/8. 2/8 is equal to the 1/4. 3/8 is only equal to itself. But 4/8 is equal to the half inch. 5/8 is pretty much just equal to itself, but 6/8 is equal to 3/4. 7/8 is equal to itself, and 8/8 is equal to the whole inch. I want you to also notice that as we move down to different things, they got skinnier and skinnier and skinnier. Thus the lines got shorter and shorter and shorter. This is a 16th. 1/16 is just equal to 1/16. Yes, it is equal to 2/32, but that's not really something we need to concern ourselves with. 2/16 is equal to the 1/8. 3/16. 4/16 is equal to 1/4. 5/16. 6/16 is equal to 3/8. 7/16. 8/16 is equal to 1/2. 9/16. 10/16 is equal to 5/8. 11/16. 12/16 is equal to 3/4. 1, 2, 3 of the 4, 3/4. 13/16. 14/16 is 7/8. 15/16 and 16/16 for the entire inch. Okay. Now, 1 inch is simply equal to an inch. This could be, by the way, any inch. This could be 7 inches and 8 inches. This could be 0 inches and 1 inch. This is just 1 inch of space. Okay, it could be 63 inches here, and this makes 64 inches. Okay, it's an inch of distance. 1/2 is only equal to 1/2, but 2/2 is equal to the whole inch. Okay? 1/4 is equal to, I want you to try to answer these questions at this point before I do. Okay, so what's going to happen at this point is I'm going to ask you a question, and Edpuzzle is then going to ask you to answer that question. Now, some of you may not need very much time at all to figure out the answer to the question, but others might need quite a while. So what I need you, and so I'm not really able to create the video in the way that I want. So what you're going to need to do at this point is I'm going to ask a question in the video. You can pause it, look at the screen, figure out what the answer is, and then unpause it to answer the question for the Edpuzzle. Okay, and then just keep doing that. That way, if you've got the answers, you can just keep moving through. If you need time to be able to figure this thing out, you can adjust that time to meet your needs. Okay? 1/4 is equal to. So 1/4 is only equal to itself, which is a 1/4. It's not equal to a 1/2 or 1/3, or it is equal to 4/16, but that's not the answer we're looking for. Because we're always looking for a number that has a 1 up here. That's not true. This number is always going to be odd. This number is always going to be even. We're not concerned with the fact that 4/16 is equal to 1/4. 1/4 is simply equal to itself as 1/4. Your answer for this one is C. But 2/4 is equal to 2/4 is equal to a 1/2. So that's A. Three-fourths is equal to. It is equal to 3/4. Yes, it is equal to 12/16. Yes, it is equal to 6/8. But in terms of measuring and the way rulers work, none of that is our interest. What our interest in is the fact that it is 3/4. So the answer we're looking for here is 3/4. 4/4 is equal to the entire inch. The whole inch. 1/8 is equal to. I need to be saying these letters. Hold on. All right. Hold on. Let's go back to here. Figure this thing out. All right, this is in the beginning. That time. Sorry, I wasn't keeping track of the letters that you needed to write down. 1/4 is equal to. Okay, so 1/4 is letter C. But 2/4 is equal to 1/2, which is letter A. 3/4 is equal to
itself, which is 3/4, which is letter C.
4/4 is equal to
1 inch, which is letter D.
the whole inch. 1/8 is equal to
Itself, which is 1/8, which is letter A.
1/8, but 2/8 is equal to
1/4. Hopefully you're getting these answers as I'm saying them. 1/4, which is letter C. Because if you're not trying to figure these things out, then you're really just kind of not learning anything. So please try to figure them out before I say them.
1/4. See how the line comes up here and stops here? Tells you it's equal to the 1/4. It does not go any higher. So this line stopping here tells us we're dealing with this line right here, which makes it a fourth. 3/8 stops here, so it's only equal to itself, which is
3/8. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying that so fast.
3/8. But 4/8 goes all the way up here, which means it is equal to what?
1/2. Now I noticed that this is not, it does not have the question number up here. So hopefully you guys are all keeping track of where you are and you're all on the same page in terms of your numbers. Mr. Cjhsolson, you might help him at this point and make sure that everybody's working on at the same number at this point. So 4/8 is equal to 1/2.
1/2. 5/8 is equal to
Itself, which is 5/8.
only itself, 5/8. But 6/8 is equal to
3/4. This works much better if you're doing the
3/4.
ed puzzle.
7/8 is equal to
Only itself, which is 7/8, which is letter B.
7/8. 8/8 is equal to
A whole inch, which is letter A.
the whole inch. 1/16 is equal to
Itself, which is 1/16, which is letter A.
1/16. 2/16 is equal to
1/8, which is letter B.
1/8. 3/16 is equal to
Itself, which is 3/16.
3/16. 4/16 is equal to
I keep forgetting to say what the letter is. So hopefully you're keeping track here. Mr. Cjhsolson, you can pause the video if we need to. If I haven't said something, you guys are gonna do the best you can to keep up with this stuff. I acknowledge that in class I would be asking you guys these questions, and you would have to answer these questions. If you were doing the ed puzzle, you'd have to be answering these questions, and it would definitely work better for those of you who are likely to just be looking for answers and not trying to learn. But I'm really asking you to take some time to think about it and try to figure out these answers as I'm saying them. So we're at 4/16, which is equal to 1/4, which is letter B.
1/4. 5/16 is equal to
Only itself, which is 5/16, which is letter A. By the way, I'm sorry about the black bar across the top. It comes up every time I move my mouse, and there's not a lot I can do about that. So 5/16 was letter A.
5/16. 6/16 is equal to
1, 2, 3/8, which is letter C.
1, 2, 3/8. 7/16 is equal to
Itself, which is 7/16, which is letter D.
7/16. 8/16 is equal to
the whole 1/2 inch, which is going to be letter C.
the whole half. Goes all the way up here. 9/16 is equal to
Only itself, which is 9/16, which is letter B.
9/16. 10/16 is equal to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 eighths, which is letter D.
5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the 8. 5/8. 11/16 is equal to
Only itself, which is 11/16, letter B.
11/16. 12/16 is equal to
Line goes all the way up to here, so we're dealing with 1, 2, 3 quarters. Letter D.
1, 2, 3 fourths, because there are 4 of these things. Line goes to here. 13/16 is equal to
Only itself, which is 13/16, letter C.
13/16. 14/16 is equal to
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the eighths. 7/8, letter B.
7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of the 8. 15/16 is equal to
15/16, which is letter C.
15/16. 16/16 is equal to
The entire inch.
the whole.
The whole inch. 1 is letter A.
The whole inch. Okay, not done yet. Now, if the line stops here, they're 16ths, as in this line stops here. If the line goes to here, they're fourths. If the line goes to here, these were eighths. These are fourths, and these are halves. Okay? So I'm going to point to a line, and I'm going to ask you what type of fractions they are. Okay? So this one right here,
Those lines are really short. They're the smallest little lines. Those are the 16th inch lines, which is letter B.
16ths. Right here,
So those are a little bit longer. They're not 16ths, but they're not fourths because fourths are too tall. These are the fourths up here. So the answer is eighths for that one, which was letter B.
eighths. Here,
One goes up real high, but not all the way to the top. So it's not an inch. So it's a half. That's letter A.
halves. Here,
That one is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a fourth. Fourths, letter B.
fourths. Here,
Tiny little lines, smallest little lines on the ruler are the 16ths, letter B.
16ths. Here,
Next shortest lines, not the shortest, but the next shortest lines are the eighths. That's our letter A.
eighths. Here,
Once again, those are the not the shortest, but the next shortest lines, those are the eighths. Letter B.
eighths. Here,
Those ones are 1, 2, 3, 4. They're fourths. There's 4 of those things. This divides this up into 4. Fourths. Letter B.
fourths. Here,
It's the same length as the last one. Those are fourths. That was letter
Fourths.
B.
here,
Tiny little lines are the 16ths. That's letter A.
16ths. Here.
That one is an eighth. It's not the shortest of the lines, the next shortest line. Those are the eighths.
Eighths. Here.
That one is also an eighth. That's our letter B.
Eighths. Here.
That one's the half inch. It's right in the middle of the inches. Letter B.
Halves. Here.
That one is the shortest little lines on the rulers. Those are the sixteenths. Letter A.
Sixteenths. Okay, hopefully that has helped you, and we will move on to the next video next time.
All right, so that did not go as long as I expected it to. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the next video as well. I thought that was going to take me quite a while, but that did not. I get that this is not the ideal. It would be much better if I were in class and forcing you to answer these questions and making sure you were listening and doing checks for understanding and all that fun stuff. It would also be better if you were doing this as an ed puzzle, because then you would be forced to answer these questions. And it's probably a little confusing because I'm giving you the answers, but then you're writing them down. And by the way, if your paper is off a little bit, that's not going to be a big deal. Just get your answers in the best you can. Turn them in on Friday, because we will be collecting these things on Friday. All right, let's look at the next one. And the next one is this one right here. So this one is, the paper is going to say day 3, paper number 1. But this is actually, we're going to do this on the second day. So this, you should still be doing this on Thursday. Here we go.
Okay, so at this point in the semester, typically I'm giving out lots of candy in my classroom. I have jelly beans that I give out, and we spend a couple of days doing what we're going to do in this video. Unfortunately, I can't give you the jelly beans right now because you're sitting in your house, but I can still go through the lesson. So I've drawn for you an inch on the ruler, and I've labeled all the different measurements across the bottom from letter A to letter Q. For the purposes of today's discussion, A is 0 and Q is 1 whole inch, or 1 inch is the answers you're looking for there. Okay. This thing in the middle is the ½ inch because it divides the whole thing in half. This is the 1/2. This is the next longest line. Okay? These two right here, these are the 1/4 inches. They're the next things go down, and they divide the inch into 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, making the answers fourths. So this one right here is 1/4. 2/4 is a ½ inch. 3/4, and then 4/4, the answer would be the whole inch. The next lines down here are these ones right here, and they break the inch up into 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces. And thus those answers are all going to be eighths. This is 1/8, 2/8 is a 1/4, 3/8, 4/8 is a ½ 5/8, 6/8 is 3/4, and 7/8, 8/8 is the whole inch. Ignore the thing I said about 10 minutes spent, Jasper. The shortest little lines here as they get smaller are the 16ths of an inch. So there's 1/16, 2/16 is an 1/8 of an inch, 3/16, 4/16 is a 1/4 of an inch, 5/16, 7, 9, 11, 13, and 15, 16. Something I want you to notice is all the answers are fractions except for the inch, 0 inches and 1 inch. All of these answers from B to Q, they're all fractions. And all the numbers on the bottom are even numbers. They are either 2, 4, 8, or 16. All the numbers on the top are odd numbers. They're either 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15 inch, or those are the only numbers across the top. They're all odd numbers on the top and even numbers on the bottom. Okay, if you're having difficulty early on, just keep going. Just keep trying. What you need to do is keep trying. Because if you decide I can't do this and you stop bothering even trying, that's when you're going to stop learning. You need to keep trying to learn. So I'm going to say, I'm going to ask a specific question, and I want you to then answer those questions. I'll give you a little pause for you to answer those questions. Okay, so if I say letter C, what type of fraction is it? The answer is going to be an eighth, because it is an eighth. If I say letter K, what type of fraction is it? The answer I'm looking for is an eighth, because it is this long, which makes them all eighths. The full measurement is 5/8, but for what I'm looking for right now, I'm just looking for what type of fraction is it. I'm only asking pretty much how long is the line, therefore what type of fraction is it. So, letter C, what type of fraction is it?
That is an eighth. Letter C.
It's an eighth. Letter K, what type of fraction is it?
That is also an eighth. Letter C.
It's an eighth. Letter O, what type of fraction is it?
Well, look at that. That is also an eighth. Letter C.
It's also an eighth. Okay? Letter D, what type of fraction is it?
Now that one is shorter, so it's going to be a 16th. It's the shortest little lines on the ruler.
It's a 16th. Letter G, what type of fraction is it?
Once again, we've gotten a little longer. It's an eighth, which is letter C.
It's an eighth. Letter I, what type of fraction is it?
That one's the one right in the middle, which is a half, letter A.
It's a half. Letter M, what type of fraction is it?
Okay, that one is here, which divides the inch up into how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So the answer is a fourth, which is letter B.
It's a fourth. Letter E, what type of fraction is it?
That is also a fourth, letter B, as in boy.
It's a fourth. Letter F.
Once again, we've gotten back down into little short lines. 16th, letter D.
16ths. Letter L.
Is once again a short little line, which makes it a 16th, letter D.
16th. P.
Same deal, nice and short. 16th, letter D.
16th. M. 4.
That is a fourth, letter B.
Fourth. E.
Is also a fourth, letter B.
Fourth. G.
Is an eighth, letter C.
Eighth. C.
Is also an eighth, letter C.
Eighth. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you which one it actually is. So I'm going to ask you for the full measurement. Okay, so when I point at letter C, first thing I want you to think in your head is that it's an eighth because of how long the line is. And then you need to ask yourself, which eighth is it? So it's either 1/8, 3/8, 5/8, or 7/8, because that's what the eighths are on the ruler. So what's the full measurement for letter C?
Okay, first of all, it's an eighth. Which eighth is it? It's 1/8. 1/8, which is letter A.
1/8. Full measurement for letter E.
It is a fourth. It is, in fact, 1/4. 1/4. 2/4 is a half. 3/4, 4/4 is a whole inch. This measurement is 1/4, letter C.
1/4. Letter B.
Is a 16th, it's the shortest little line on the ruler, and it happens to be 1/16 because it's right at the very beginning of the ruler.
1/16. J.
Is also a 16th. However, this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, got it wrong. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sixteenths, which is letter D. Is 9 sixteenths. And how would we find that out? First of all, it's a 16th, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sixteenths. You can count this way too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sixteenths. J. F. So that is also a 16th, and if we count it over, we would find out that that is 5 sixteenths, letter D. It's 5 sixteenths. D is also a 16th, and that one's going to be 3 sixteenths, or letter B. It's 3 sixteenths. L. L is a 16th, and it happens to be 11 sixteenths if you counted that over all the way to 11 sixteenths. 11 sixteenths. O. Okay, so that one's an eighth, and it's right near 8/8, so it's one less than 8/8, so that makes it 7/8, because 8/8 would be the entire inch. So that's letter C. 7/8. All right, so that's the end of our discussion today on this one. I hope that this helped with you with your measurings. First of all, A is 0 and Q was 1 inch, and I hope this was helpful. All right, guys. I hope this is helpful. This is not as valuable as it would be if I was in person or if you were taking this as an ed puzzle. But hopefully it helps. Tomorrow I'm going to have some advice in terms of how to take some time tomorrow night or over the weekend to make sure that you are solid on Monday. And I'm going to leave it at that for the day because I think we're probably running out of time in class. You guys have a great day. Hope you're enjoying your week, and I will be back in video form tomorrow, and I will be back in class on Monday. Bye, guys. For the rest of the period, if there's any time left, you guys can work with your flashcards, or you can sit quietly and wait for the bell to ring. Bye, guys.